What if I told you that your biggest enemy isn't your circumstances, your boss, or even your luck? What if the person sabotaging your dreams is staring back at you in the mirror every morning? Today we're diving deep into the psychology of self-sabotage, and I'm going to show you exactly how to break free from the invisible chains you've been placing on yourself. I used to think I was just unlucky. Every time something good was about to happen, disaster would strike. I'd get close to a promotion and suddenly find myself arguing with my manager. I'd start a new relationship and somehow find reasons to create conflict. It took me years to realize that I wasn't a victim of bad luck. I was the architect of my own destruction. Self-sabotage is one of the most misunderstood psychological phenomena because it operates in the shadows of our consciousness. We rarely catch ourselves in the act because our brain has convinced us that we're protecting ourselves from something worse than failure, the terrifying possibility of actually succeeding. The first step to defeating self-sabotage is understanding why we do it in the first place. Our brains are wired for survival, not success. When we start moving toward our goals, our primitive mind interprets this as potential danger. Success means change, and change means uncertainty. Your subconscious would rather keep you safe in familiar misery than risk the unknown territory of achievement. Think about it this way. If you've always been the person who struggles with money, suddenly having financial abundance threatens your core identity. If you've always been single, being in a healthy relationship challenges everything you believe about yourself and your worth. Your mind will literally sabotage these positive changes to maintain the status quo because familiarity feels safer than growth. The most common forms of self-sabotage are procrastination, perfectionism, negative self-talk, and what I call relationship destruction. Let's break these down because recognizing the patterns is crucial for breaking them. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's fear disguised as delay tactics. When you put off important tasks, you're protecting yourself from the possibility of trying your best and still failing. If you never really try, you can always tell yourself that you could have succeeded if you had actually put in the effort. Perfectionism is procrastination's sophisticated cousin. It tricks you into believing you're being productive while actually preventing you from making real progress. When you demand perfection, you create impossible standards that guarantee failure before you even begin. Negative self-talk is perhaps the most insidious form because it feels like truth. That voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough isn't protecting you. It's programming you for failure by making you believe that disappointment is inevitable. Relationship destruction happens when we push away people who genuinely care about us right when things start getting serious. We pick fights, create drama, or simply withdraw because deep down we don't believe we deserve love and connection. Now here's where it gets interesting. Self-sabotage always follows predictable patterns, which means we can actually interrupt these patterns before they destroy our progress. The key is developing what I call sabotage awareness. Start by identifying your personal sabotage triggers. What situations make you most likely to self-destruct? Is it when you're close to achieving a goal? When someone shows genuine interest in you? When you're about to take a risk? Write these down because awareness is the first weapon in your arsenal. Next, you need to understand your sabotage timeline. Most people have a consistent pattern for when they sabotage themselves. Some people do it immediately when opportunities arise. Others wait until they're almost at the finish line. Knowing your timeline helps you prepare countermeasures. The most powerful technique I've discovered is called the pause protocol. When you feel the urge to sabotage, stop everything and ask yourself 3 questions. First, what am I really afraid of? Second, what's the worst thing that could realistically happen if I succeed? Third, what would I regret more, trying and failing, or never trying at all? This pause gives your rational mind time to override your fear-based impulses. Most self-sabotage happens in reactive moments when we're operating purely on emotion and instinct. Another crucial strategy is reframing your relationship with failure. Self-sabotage often stems from the belief that failure is catastrophic. But what if failure was just feedback? What if every setback was simply data that helps you adjust your approach? When you remove the emotional charge from failure, you remove one of the primary drivers of self-sabotage. You also need to start celebrating small wins immediately. Self-sabotage thrives in environments where progress goes unnoticed. When you acknowledge and appreciate every step forward, you're rewiring your brain to associate progress with pleasure instead of danger. Here's something most people don't realize. Self-sabotage is often a loyalty issue. We sabotage ourselves to stay loyal to family patterns, cultural expectations, or peer group norms. If everyone in your family struggles with money, getting wealthy might feel like betrayal. If your friends are all single, being in a great relationship might feel like abandonment. The solution is giving yourself permission to outgrow these limitations. Success doesn't make you a bad person. Happiness doesn't make you selfish. Growth doesn't mean you're abandoning where you came from. Finally, surround yourself with people who celebrate your success instead of feeling threatened by it. The people in your inner circle should be your biggest cheerleaders, not the chorus of voices reminding you of all the ways you might fail. Breaking free from self-sabotage isn't about positive thinking or willpower. It's about understanding the psychology behind your patterns and implementing specific strategies to interrupt them. You have everything you need to succeed already within you. The only question is whether you'll give yourself permission to use it. What's one area where you recognize self-sabotage in your own life? Let me know in the comments and let's start breaking these patterns together.
This was the eye behind the curtain. If something clicked, sit with it. This channel doesn't diagnose, it observes.